Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the processions of the High Sheriff of Dorset, the University Board, Senate and the Chancellor. please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Chancellor, Lord Phillips.
High Sheriff of Dorset, Mr. Connor Burns, Member of Parliament and our very good friend, Vice-Chancellor, all of you who are about to receive your degrees, and all of you who've come to watch them receive their degrees, welcome. My name is Nicholas Phillips, and I am Chancellor of this university. The Chancellor of a university sounds a very important person, and in the old days he used to be, because he was responsible for the running of the university. Thank goodness that is no longer the case. It's the Vice-Chancellor who runs the university. Our Vice-Chancellor is John Vinney, and he runs this university very well indeed. You'll be hearing from him later on, and I hope that his modesty will not prevent him from telling you of the fantastic achievements of this university under his leadership. Actually, I know his modesty won't prevent him from doing so, because I've seen what he's going to say. Well, I'm glad a few of you have laughed, but quite a lot of you are still looking rather solemn. This is, of course, a very significant occasion, but it's also a fun occasion. Friends and family have come to see those they love receiving degrees that are a reward for a lot of hard work. So sit back and relax and enjoy yourselves. This afternoon, in addition to Kate Kinninmont, who is about to receive an honorary doctorate, over 400 students will be coming up to the platform to receive their degrees. That means an awful lot of clapping. But I won't be satisfied if it's only clapping. I want to hear some cheering as well. You who are graduating this afternoon have studied in our world-famous Faculty of Media and Communication. You have been acquiring skills which are going to be of vital importance in earning a living in this highly competitive world. This university prides itself on turning out students who will be of value to society, and society values them. After this ceremony, there's a rather good party, which gives me the opportunity to meet those who've graduated and their families and friends. So please do not hesitate to come up and chat to me. One question that I ask the graduates is, what are you doing now? And I hardly ever get the answer, I'm looking for a job. Most have either gone on to further education or have found employment. And I hope that that's as true this year as it has been in the past. But university isn't just about qualifying for employment, it's about qualifying for life. A good university, such as this one, is a society in which you acquire the values that you will need to live contentedly in a complex world. And I use the word complex advisedly. When I started to earn my living, the only means of communication were documents or the landline telephone. Information about what was going on in the world was provided by newspapers. Records were kept in hard copy. Electronic communications and computerization have changed all of this. These are a force for good and a possible force for evil. The possibility of worldwide instant communication carries with it the possibility of massive, deliberate, or accidental misinformation. Social media is enjoyed by all, but is capable of damaging abuse. Computerization has opened the door to cybercrime and even cyber warfare. This country has embarked on a divorce from those who've been our partners in Europe over most of my life and the whole of the lives of almost all of you who are taking degrees. Some claim that the decision to leave the EU was provoked by widespread misinformation, or at least by a failure to communicate what it is going to involve. Well, we're now going to find out what that is. Events over the next year or so are going to be very interesting. Those who earn their living from communications and from the propagation of media have a heavy responsibility in helping to ensure that the information that we receive is accurate and unbiased, so that we can safely base our judgments on it. And those of us who do not fully understand the technology of modern communications, and that's most of us, are going to have to rely on those who do to protect us from its abuse. That is inevitably going to include quite a number of you here this afternoon. I hope that your time in the multicultural and caring society, which is Bournemouth University, will have helped you to establish the independence and personal integrity that is going to be so important in meeting future challenges. But today we're here to celebrate the academic challenges that you have already met. You have striven and you have prevailed. So many congratulations to each and every one of you for the hard work that you've put in at this university in earning your degrees. Very well done indeed. I've seen 4 children through school and university, and I'm now concentrating on the grandchildren. I know from experience that when young people are working for exams, they are not always good company. They're stressed and sometimes irritable or depressed. Their family and friends have to put up with this and help them with love and encouragement. I say love and encouragement, but love and money would in many cases be truer. For university doesn't come cheaply, and some parents are able, with personal sacrifice, to help their sons and daughters to meet some of the expense involved, and the same is true of grandparents. So the congratulations are due not just to the graduates, but to all of you, family, friends, those who teach at this university, and those who work here to cater for all the needs of those who teach and those who study. So I have very great pleasure in giving all of you my best wishes and declaring this ceremony open.
This congregation is assembled for the conferment of an honorary degree. Chancellor, I invite Dr. Christa van Raalte to present Mrs. Kate Kinninmont, MBE.
My Lord and Chancellor, Kate Kinninmont, MBE, is the Chief Executive of Women in Film and Television in the UK. She began her career in education, working with both children and adults. Kate organised adult literacy classes and outreach programmes for those who had missed out on a formal education. Early on, she realised that there were opportunities for disadvantaged women to enter the workplace, and took it upon herself to arrange childcare for a group of stay-at-home mums so she could coach them through their GCSE English and help them get back to work. Her advocacy work led to her being featured on radio so often that she was eventually offered a job by the BBC. Kate worked first in radio, then in television, researching, producing and directing consumer affairs, education and religious programmes, documentaries, children's dramas, and even a popular Sunday evening animal programme, The Animals Roadshow. Born in Glasgow, Kate was the first of her family to attend university, and she believes that her modest upbringing instilled in her both a great determination and a keen appreciation of the opportunities that education had given her. She also believes that education and career development are lifelong activities, and she has sought every opportunity to develop her own knowledge and skills base. Television has enabled Kate to travel all over the world. She has interviewed IRA members from their prison cells in Belfast, spent time in the Malaysian rainforest living and filming with an Aboriginal tribe, and travelled around the Pacific Rim with Chinese chef Ken Hom. Kate has filmed with Omar Sharif, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Armistead Maupin, John Cleese, Tom Conti, Charlotte Rampling, June Whitfield, and Emma Watson, among others. She has even enjoyed a personal poetry recital and house tour by the famous Russian poet Yevgeny Yevtushenko, during which Kate recalls Yevgeny being badly hungover. For the past 10 years, Kate has been a tireless advocate for women in the media. Less than 10% of television drama is directed by women. Only 4% of film composers are women, and senior roles and consequent pay still go disproportionately to men. She has endeavoured to highlight widespread injustices with patience and good humour, and above all, to celebrate women and their successes. Kate's work was recognised in 2014 with an MBE for services to women in the film and television industry. Along with Ralph Fiennes and the American director Richard Linklater, she was recently made an honorary associate of the London Film School, and she is a visiting professor at the University of Hertfordshire. My Lord and Chancellor, I have the honour to present Kate Kinninmont, MBE, and I ask you to confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Arts, honoris causa.
Gosh. My Lord and Chancellor, the High Sheriff, distinguished guests, proud parents, and every single graduand, thank you. Now, when Hollywood scriptwriters begin work on a movie script, whether it's a blockbuster action film or a sweet romantic comedy, they look for what they call the inciting incident. That is the trigger, the thing that happens to set the plot in motion, bring the characters together, and start them on their journey. For many of you here today, this may be your inciting incident, because your graduation, which marks the culmination of years of study, is not the end of a journey, but the beginning. As you heard a few moments ago, I was the first of my family to attend university. Today, almost 50% of young people go on to higher education. In the black and white days of my youth, the figure was 5%. My university had a very progressive attitude towards women. Out of every 20 places in the medical faculty, 1 was reserved for a woman. In return, the other 19 places were reserved for men. And that was regardless of entry qualifications, 19 men and 1 woman. The dean of the faculty was quite open about his reason for this. Why waste the money training women? They'll just get married and have a family. And presumably none of the men did. Today, of course, more than half of all newly qualified doctors are women. And despite the best efforts of Harvey Weinstein and some of our more primitive members of Parliament, women are standing up for themselves in every field of endeavour. My goodness. My goodness, next year they'll be allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia. But however many young people now go to university, however brilliantly you've done in your studies, it's what you do next that really matters. I was very naive when I graduated. I thought somehow there was a great headmaster in the sky who would look down, see how hard I was working, recognize my worth, and reward it accordingly. Well, you're probably way ahead of me already. You know that's not exactly how it works. You have to figure out what you want to do with your life and then work out the steps towards achieving that goal. Lots of people may help you, on your way, but in the end, you have to rely on yourself to make it happen. Today is a great start, a real measure of your achievement, but the rest really is up to you. Now, one thing I remember from my graduations in the past, and I'm sure it hasn't changed, is that no one ever wants to listen to a very long speech. So, I want to thank Bournemouth University for the great honour and privilege it has bestowed on me today. I want to congratulate all the students and wish every single one of you a happy, productive and successful life. And as we say in Scotland, more power to you. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, President of the Students' Union, Mr. Daniel Asaya.
Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and my non-binary siblings. It is an honor to be addressing you on behalf of the Students' Union. Today is a big day, a remarkable one for you to look back at your time here at BU with friends and reminisce on the many memories that you've made here. Whether you're graduating with a distinction or a pass, what matters most is that you've made it this far, and today, you become Bournemouth graduates who would go on to do amazing things, challenge stereotypes, and have no doubt that you'll be very successful. To our parents and loved ones present, I salute you. Thank you for your words of encouragement, and thanks for being a part of this journey. You see, everyone has a unique story about their time at Bournemouth University, but there's also a lot that we have in common. We've all experienced that shift from awkward hellos as freshers to friendships that will last a lifetime. We have overcome challenges, found solutions to difficult problems. We've even moved from beans on toast to more experimental cuisine. But as we celebrate this memorable day, it is worth highlighting that some of us will go on to be leaders in our areas of expertise, while others will end up taking a different path completely, just like me, who 4 years ago, before coming to study in the UK, was sitting at my own graduation ceremony, having bagged the first class in information technology. I remember wondering what the future held and where my journey would take me next. Never saw myself having a passion for something different like politics. And I'm glad we're starting to see more engagement from young people, by the way. But most importantly, standing here today as a re-elected full-time officer who's made history as the first Black president of the Students' Union. Whichever way you end up going, what you have learned and the skills that you have gained during the course of your studies or through your engagement with the Students' Union will benefit you. But our journey isn't over yet. In fact, it is just beginning. Our generation will be the next titans of industry, creators of jobs, and pioneers of innovation. We're a generation of risk takers prepared to fail, prepared to pick ourselves up and start again, prepared for the chance to do something truly great, to be someone truly great. We, the graduates of Bournemouth University, are the next generation of leaders who will be the change we want to see in this world. So go out there, use your voice, use your platform, challenge the status quo, but most of all, always be you. Thank you guys and good luck.
This congregation is assembled for the presentation of postgraduate and undergraduate awards of the university. Chancellor, recipients of awards in the Faculty of Media and Communication will be presented by the Executive Dean, Professor Michael Wilmore, and received as graduates by the Vice-Chancellor, Professor John Vinney.
My Lord and Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present the recipients of awards for the Faculty of Media and Communication. I'm especially privileged to present the awards for Doctor of Philosophy. These are our highest awards and represent many years of hard work and original contribution to the body of knowledge. Doctor of Engineering, in recognition of a programme of work entitled Participatory Design and Free and Open Source Software in the Not-for-Profit Sector, the HubLink Project. Lisa Haskell. Doctor of Philosophy, in recognition of a programme of work entitled Campaign Professionalism and the Birth of Democracy, analysing the 2012 first multi-candidate presidential election in post-revolutionary Egypt. Dalia El-Sheikh. In recognition of a programme of work entitled Efficient Sketch-Based 3D Character Modelling, Ismail Khalid Kazmi. Master of Arts in 3D Computer Animation, Arfan bin Abdul Rashid. Josh Dowsett. And with distinction, Maria Mafalda Souza de Carmo Fernando. And with distinction, Charlotte Demelza Ann Grant. And with distinction, Shu Han. Xinji Chang. And with distinction, Rekha Kadar. Lauren Keith. Serhat Kus. Jason Lesko. And with distinction, Rebecca Jane Oxford. Ellie Petkova. And with distinction, Anna Paula Pezzolo. And with distinction, Natalia Sanchez Moya. And with distinction, Francesco Torelli. And with distinction, William Austin Wardle. Master of Arts in Cinematography for Film and Television. And with distinction, Crystal Hennon. Corina Martinoli. Alessandro Oliveri. Amy Michelle O'Sullivan. And with distinction, Mogojata Maria Pronko. Jan Philip Dieter Reinking. Master of Arts in Creative Media Arts, Data and Innovation. And with distinction, Daniel Lawrence Cross. Gemma Grange. And with distinction, Ashley Wilkie. Master of Arts in Digital Effects. Stephanie Chrysostomou. Ya Chin Kao. And with distinction, Fiona Michaela Edler. Elma Bragji Einason. Christopher Brian Gropatsakis. Hai Yang Chan. Sarah Mehungus Gasea. Godwin Chukwuka Mosindi. Sarah Innes Ostrick. David Svenval. Louis Venet. Chun Cheng Wang. Qian Wu. Chao Xu. Li Yang. Master of Arts in Directing Film and Television. Omokafe Bumedele Omaniyi Ajekeye. Moji Bassa. Laura Charlotte Dickinson. And with distinction, Sarah Nukali Sanchez. Lucas Nicola. And with distinction, Lucia Skiervon. And with distinction, Yen Yu Shen. Xiao Tong Shi. Sampatawadugai Michael Charles Silver. And with distinction, Carlota Simoish de Almeida Calderia. James Robert Tubb. Bo Wei Wang. Master of Arts in Post-Production Editing, and with distinction, Patrick Czekowski. Mochia Donia. Rachel Franks. And with distinction, Micah Glombeck. Charles Pedro Guerra. Simeone Laterza. Thomas James Linton. Hao Lin Lu. And with distinction, Eleanor Nicole Stiles. Master of Arts in Producing Film and Television, Anchal Ahuja. Sohee Bak. Kane Draper. Nishay Madhavan. Anna Margetti. Aaron Nichols. Master of Arts in Radio Production, Georgia Bulford. And with distinction, Nicholas Mark de Gary. Sarah Elizabeth Dickinson. Jordan Pierce Woodley. Master of Arts in Script Writing, and with distinction, Luke Ackroyd. Joshua Gavin Dean Bessel. And with distinction, Joshua Boltwood Neal. Greg Jonathan Breener. Thomas Michael Hamilton. And with distinction, Christina Johey. And with distinction, Natalie Rachel Simon Mallory. And with distinction, Patricia Ann Moises. Like Martha Rusink. Josiah Waters. Master of Arts in Sound Design for Film and Television, James Alexander Ashmore. Nicholas Young Parker Chagath. And with distinction, Helen Rose Faulkner. Daniel Fitzgerald. And with distinction, Jason Hallett. Luke Hurst. Nicholas Otter Kumanaye. Stuart Andrew McNally. Jed William Milton. Yu Chen Mu. April Pezotta. Jack Priest. And with distinction, Gianluca Romano. Master of Science in Computer Animation and Visual Effects. And with distinction, Marta Ferriani. Francesca Galuzzi. Sydney Dimitra Kiritsia. Federico Pietro Leone. Yao Liu. Vijin Ravindran. Jessin Roy. Postgraduate Certificate in Education Practice. And with distinction, Rebecca Jane Bond. And with distinction, and with distinction, Alice Louise Girling. Sonia Louise Teresa Harvey. Michelle Heward. And with distinction, Rebecca Hindley. And with distinction, Julia Judd. And with distinction, Chanel Nadia McLawrence. Jill Nash. Nancy Newman. Lisa Rahuma. Sharon Summerson Watson. And with distinction, David Tilley. Peter Truckle. Joanne Valentine. Edmund Williams. And with distinction, Juliet Wood. Bachelor of Arts in Computer Animation Arts. With first class honours, Emily Ann Bailey. Thomas Bailey. Mikhail Cauchi. Emma Louise Clayton. Sean Coates. Callum James Cook. And with first-class honours, Richard Cope. Michael Elisheku. Samuel Gundry. Victoria Hank. Christopher James Hull. And with first-class honours, Ralitsa Ilianova Karova. And with first-class honours, Emily Kimball. Ching Xiao Lan. Emma Legood. William Malkin. Callan Macaulay. Alex Morgan. Joanna Pena Ribeiro Alves de Silva. And with first-class honours, Oleksiy Popov. Thomas Quemby. And with first-class honours, Francesca Ross. Chester Henry Sampson. Laura Scott. Janet Simeonova. Victoria Sipilova. Paulina Sokol. And with first-class honours, William Stocks. Amanda Iwan Tan. Jack Taylor. Joshua Thomas Hulker. Camilla Thorson. Francesca Towie. Stephen Umani. Milo Volpicelli. Joanne Cho Yen Wong. Honor Ildrim. Kalina Jeleskova. Bachelor of Arts in Computer Visualization and Animation, Ramon Blanco Ruiz. Joshua Bufton. And with first-class honours, William Seamus Alexander Christian. Richard Cooper. And with first-class honours, Quentin Corker-Marin. And with first-class honours, Daniel John Jarman de Carvalho. And with first-class honours, Lucy Amber Devlin. Pavlos Dimitriou. And with first-class honours, Rosie Nashini Emery. And with first-class honours, Rachel Frost. Chloe Gemmell. And with first-class honours, Carola Giller. And with first-class honours, Felix Charles Green. And with first-class honours, Erica Whaley Gualandi. Christian Hagbarth. Elizabeth Amy Hammond-Hunt. And with first-class honours, Benjamin Nicholas Hawkyard. Tia Louise Heeger. Ruth Hutton. Lydia Jean Kenton. Stephen King. Rebecca Amy Lester. Chun Wen Lee. And with first-class honours, Sue Man Ma. And with first-class honours, Felix Michael Marrington-Reeve. Fanny Marstrom. Ariel Olivia Tess Martin. Tara Alison Morland. Philip Mullaney. Glenn Negard. Kristin Weber Olgard. Esme Pryor. Imran Riyad. And with first-class honours, Chun Yo Sim. Alex James Strickland. And with first-class honours, Matthew Traynor. Chun Wen Wan. And with first-class honours, Yu Quen Wong. Stuart William Wellborn. Michael Woods. And with first-class honours, Lucy Wright. Ava Zich. Bachelor of Arts in Digital Media Design. Suleiman Farhan Ahmed. George Allard. Sabah Al-Maskri. Arman Ansari. And with first-class honours, Alex Siruz Arjomandi Sisson. And with first-class honours, Oliver James Boone. Lauren Teresa Button. Callum Carmichael. And with first-class honours, Charlotte Eagle. Jordan Ezra. Billy Farrell. Sebastian Jacob Fowl. And with first-class honours, Connor Ferry. Jade Lauren Garstang. Rebecca Goodchild. And with first-class honours, Lawrence Richard Holmes. Chloe Hutchings. And with first-class honours, Christopher Langley. And with first-class honours, Elliot Langley. And with first-class honours, Matthew James Lean. Alexander Robert Lorimer. Richard McHugh. Gabrielle McWilliams. Robert Moyer. Suzanne Nichols. Robin James Osolinski. And with first-class honours, Marlon Christophs Pavanello. Luke Pelling. And with first-class honours, Olivia Francis Pooley. Christina Sabin. George Sadler. Sean Skeen. And with first-class honours, Kurt Stubbings. Moncon Tira. Abraham Vixcorn. Certificate of Higher Education in Digital Media Design. Ulubankole Oriola. Bachelor of Arts in Media Production. Zoe Allen. George Arnott. Ryan Bailey. Stephen Bailey. And with first-class honours, Stephanie Claire Bisson. Hayley Bowers. Megan Claire Bramall. And with first-class honours, Stephen John Brickle. Theo Broadbent. Gemma Brown. And with first-class honours, Leah Brown. And with first-class honours, Sophie Brown. Rebecca Can. Samuel Carr. And with first-class honours, Stephanie Champion. Andrew Martin James Clements. Lucy Connolly. Bridget Cook. Oliver Cook. Liam James Cornock. Liam Andrew Davies. And with first-class honours, Fabienne Dupre. And with first-class honours, James Ewart. Finlay Ferdinand. Max Daniel Gifford. And with first-class honours, Elliot James Goddard. And with first-class honours, Catherine Gordine. Olga Gunderich. Isaac Hirsch Parker. Jordan Horn. And with first-class honours, Kelly Howells. And with first-class honours, Matt Hux. And with first-class honours, Lewis Jones. Farah Joboze. Jake Kemp. Luke Kernigan. Jane Ketley. Natalie Lagodka. And with first-class honours, Andrew Licence. And with first-class honours, Henry Lynch. Ellie Christie McGregor-Davis. And with first-class honours, Jamie Maisner. And with first-class honours, Stefan Matthews. Oliver McCartney. Georgia McCormick. And with first-class honours, Harley Messenger. Jasmine Mountford. John Marwan Shiku. And with first-class honours, Ifunaya Chelsea Nwasike. Oluwaseun Damilolo Oluwaoke. And with first-class honours, Sinead Neve Natalie O'Toole. Charlotte Pay. And with first-class honours, Eleanor Phillips. And with first-class honours, Skye Pontin-Hewlett. And with first-class honours, Jake Barry Ernest Powell. Patrick Rule. And with first-class honours, Joseph Simpson. Lee Skeen. And with first-class honours, Jasmine Smith. And with first-class honours, Megan Ruth Smith. Si Xuan Song. And with first-class honours, Luke Spencer. And with first-class honours, Bobby Steer. Amelia Chloe Stewart. Theodore Stewart. Natasha Louise Sullivan. And with first-class honours, Bobby Lee Talbot. Jemima Thomas. Matthew Thomas. Cleo Turner. And with first-class honours, Nancy Alderney Turner. Yasmin Ullah. And with first-class honours, Lewis Michael Walker. Erin Mia Walton. And with first-class honours, Natasha May Websdale. And with first-class honours, Sophie White. Lincoln Witter. Kia Penelope Wright. Bachelor of Arts in Radio, Caitlin Alston. Oyula Wotofunmi Mark Anthony Owojabi. Sasha Constance. And with first-class honours, Elliot Darby. Alice Gallagher. Kate Gardner. Alex Andrew Graham. Simone Julian. Miliana Michunovic. Chelsea Moore. Fleur Louisa Osterjack. And with first-class honours, Georgia Kate Pegler. Jack Christopher Phillips. Emily Mary Rhodes. Claire Rachel Umney. And with first-class honours, Jordan Thomas Wilden. Bachelor of Arts in Scriptwriting for Film and Television, Gemma Leslie Adams. And with first-class honours, Stefania Allegrini. Miles Bevan. Nathan Brown. And with first-class honours, Gemma Cable. Cherish Jade Cahill. And with first-class honours, Iona Carrie Campbell-Byatt. Zachary Reuben Joel Churchard. Oliver Colley. Emily Charlotte Drew. Tiana Bernadette Fitzsimmons. William Gardner. Louise Giddings. Ophelia Pandora Rose Giles. Chiara Louise Glover. Hamish Goff. Elliot Harvey. Francesca King. And with first-class honours, Samuel James Klein. And with first-class honours, Sarah Elizabeth Lockwood. Ryan McAnery. Darius Nikos Mina. Graziana Ramundi. Charles Caduceus Leon Reeve. Shannon Reeve. And with first-class honours, Hannah Emily Rideout. Chris Samuel. And with first-class honours, Ricky John Santos. Charlotte Lucy Soars. And with first-class honours, Adam Sears. Elizabeth Rose Shanahan. Reese Alexander Shrewsbury. Cameron Jake Stott. Sam Turner. Joshua Wallace. Alexander West. Zarina Zakirova. Bachelor of Arts in Television Production, Oscar Stephen Bath. Toby Bennett. Sarah Bristow. Amy Louise Brown. Samuel Burton. James Michael Coolidge. Giovanni Conte. Hannah Dreimer. Eleanor Hannah Etchells. Daniel Benjamin Faint. Ashley Falzon. Brianna Gale. Metin Jeksoyla. Katie Good. And with first-class honours, Tom William Horney. And with first-class honours, Alexander Hemmings. And with first-class honours, James Hayden Henson. And with first-class honours, Eleanor Hinson. And with first-class honours, Solit Eam. Thomas James. Pierre Aristide Cater. Megan Louise Kent. Emily Lawson. Albertine Lee. Jacob William Mackay. James McDowell. And with first-class honours, Natalie Mackay. Hannah Louise Mockett. Abigail Owen. Georgia Patterson. Anna Pledger. And with first-class honours, Jack Christos Paul Richards. Charles Ashton Richardson. Jenna Margaret Sanford. And with first-class honours, Alex Michael Shersmith. Liam Smith. And Gina Stevens. Elizabeth Stinson. And with first-class honours, Thomas Stone. And with first-class honours, Daniel Stubbington. Joshua Richard Sullivan. And with first-class honours, Louise Thickett. Carla Thomas. Elliot Thorne. And with first-class honours, Robert Thorogood. And with first-class honours, Ariana Tipper. Lindsay Tully. George Vale. And with first-class honours, Jessica Meredith Whitehead. And with first-class honours, Monty William Fox Wilson. Putri Aliana Arina Nazreen Zaifrul Nazareen. Bachelor of Science in Software Development for Animation, Games and Effects, Philip Gifford. And with first-class honours, Timu Johannes Lindborg. And with first-class honours, George Mages. And with first-class honours, Idris Miles. James Reeves. Matthew Thomas Skellen. My Lord and Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of awards for the Faculty of Media and Communication. Vice-Chancellor, thank you. My Lord and Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the pleasure in presenting the recipients of prizes for the Faculty of Media and Communication, presented by colleagues from the Faculty of Media and Communication. The Alan Platter Screenwriting Prize, awarded to the writers who received the highest mark of the year for their final major projects, presented by Christa van Raalte. Awarded to Christina Johe, Patricia Ann Moises, Stefania Allegrini. The Firefly Digital Prize, awarded for the production of an outstanding digital solution as part of a graduate project, presented by Christa van Raalte, awarded to Catherine Gording. The Blue Zoo Productions Prize, awarded for the Best Major Project, presented by Richard Southern. Awarded to Carola Gile, Ralitsa Ilanova Karova, Victoria Hankey. The Side Effects Software Prize for Best Digital Effects Project, presented by Richard Southern. Awarded to Fiona Michaela Edler. Next, we have prizes presented by Faculty of Media and Communication sponsors. The Avid Prize, awarded for Best Editing in Master's Production Project, presented by Trevor Bowden, Master Instructor at Avid Technology Europe. Awarded to Patrick Cikalski. The Clock Prize, awarded to the Best Final Year Student, presented by Sid Nadeem, Executive Chairman of Clock. Awarded to Olivia Francis Pooley. Content is King Prize, awarded for the most innovative film production content, presented by Richard Wallace. Awarded to Ashley Falzon. The Panasonic Prize, awarded for the Best MA Cinematography Project, presented by Richard Wallace, and awarded to Christa Henine. My Lord and Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of prizes for the Faculty of Media and Communication. Vice-Chancellor, thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving all recipients of awards and prizes a final round of applause. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor John Vinney.
Graduation is my favourite time of the year, and it's not just because of this dashing gown and rather fetching hat that I get to wear. It's because at graduation I get to meet all of you, our graduating students, and have the very great pleasure of being the first person to congratulate you as you cross the stage. Now, graduates, you are now BU alumni, and I know how great that is because I'm one too. So I once crossed this very same stage and sat where you are today, so I know what a proud and special day this is. Now, the motto of this university is Discere mutari est, which is on our crest, and it means to learn is to change. And education is about changing lives, our own lives and the lives of those around us. It helps us to leave the world a better place than we found it. Now, your achievements recognised here today are the launch pad for an amazing journey that has no limits. A journey that will be full of opportunities and challenges, a journey that will require you to continually learn, change and adapt in order to succeed in this increasingly fast-paced, competitive and globally connected world. Now, since I was here as a student, BU has been on an amazing journey too, and has changed beyond all recognition. Our vision for BU is based on the fusion of education, research and professional practice, and we believe that by bringing these elements together, we can have a greater impact for students and society. Now, in the last Research Excellence Framework Assessment, 72% of our research was deemed to have an outstanding or very considerable impact on society. And this year, we were given a Silver Award in the Teaching Excellence Framework, reflecting that we consistently exceed rigorous national quality requirements for the UK higher education sector. Now, we were delighted that when making the award, the panel noted our high placement levels, professional accreditation of our programmes, initiatives such as the Student Research Assistant Programme and peer-assisted learning. Now, these are features which demonstrate what fusion means in practice, bringing together research, education and professional practice to create something that is distinctive and will help our graduates to succeed in whatever they do next. Within 6 months after graduating from BU, 92% of our graduates are in work or further study. Now, my decision to attend this institution changed my life forever, and my journey led to me being on this stage today. To lead such a fantastic university is a great honour and a privilege, but who knows where your amazing journeys will take you. Now, another reason I love graduation is because I have the great pleasure of meeting your family and friends, and of addressing those who aren't able to be here in person but are watching us live from around the world. Succeeding at university requires a huge amount of hard work, tenacity and determination. You should all be extremely proud of what you've achieved. But none of you did this alone, so sitting behind you are the people who helped you keep your feet on the ground while you were reaching for the stars, your parents, your partners, your friends and family. Without their support and understanding, none of this would have been possible. People who supported you when you first decided to go to university. People who were there for you and manned the 24/7 helpline back home. People who were there for you when the pressure started to build, the deadlines were getting closer, and those final assessments were looming. So I'm delighted to see so many of your supporters here to share this moment with you. And the graduates, I now invite you to stand up, turn around, and join me in showing your thanks with a huge round of applause. Very good. Now, you may have noticed some other familiar faces on the stage or in the audience today, your lecturers, your tutors and support staff. And like me, they were extremely proud to watch you walk across the stage today. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of them for their contribution, and in particular for making BU such a creative, friendly and inspiring place to be. So please do give them a wave if you can catch their eye, and join me in thanking them with another huge round of applause. Now, you can all be proud of what you've achieved as individuals, but I also want to reflect briefly on what you've achieved together. So many of you graduating today have contributed enormously to BU and to the wider community through working with our fantastic Students' Union, SUBU, volunteering, fundraising and doing charity work, representing BU and our sports teams, or through the clubs, societies and community groups that you've been part of. So on behalf of all of those in our local community and further afield that you've helped and supported, I would like to say a big thank you to you all. Thank you. Now, the Faculty of Media and Communication has gone from strength to strength. One example, students and staff from media production and the National Centre for Computer Animation have been very successful in competitions and exhibitions this year. And we also recently hosted the annual BFX Festival, celebrating visual effects, animation and games, and hosting some very prestigious speakers. Now, I know that my colleagues in the faculty have really enjoyed working with you all, and they have a few messages that they would like to share.
Hey guys, I hope you've had a lot of fun this year. I'll admit that it was hard work at times, but I'm really proud of what you've achieved and the fantastic results that you've had. I'm hearing great stories of the kinds of jobs that you guys are walking into after this degree, and that makes us all very proud here at the NCCA.
Believe in yourself, believe in the BU brand because it'll open doors for you, and enjoy your next great adventure.
I'm sure many of you TV graduates are already meeting people who've been to Bournemouth before you and maybe sharing your experiences of what it was like here. I hope you all enjoyed your time with us as much as we enjoyed teaching you, and that you're all going to go on to achieve fantastic things out there in the industry, and that we'll see your name in lights. Very good luck in wherever your career is going to be. Enjoy yourselves.
So to all the postgraduates and undergraduates that I've taught, you've all worked really hard to get to this point now, so congratulations. But it doesn't stop here, so I hope you all have both amazing careers but amazing lives ahead of you, and do keep in touch.
I just want to say a massive congratulations to all of the graduates from the NCCA. Go out there, win Oscars, win BAFTAs, make us proud, make your mum and dads proud, and have a great career.
The work has been simply outstanding, and it's been a pleasure working with you all over this last year. I wish you every best in your future careers. Take care, look after yourselves and keep in touch.
Congratulations, everybody. Come back and see us.
Have an amazing future.
Well done.
Congratulations, everybody. It's been a pleasure working with you and a privilege, and I can't wait to see how your careers go from here.
Congratulations. So we will miss you massively, because I'm sure you know that we're so fond of you, it's ridiculous. And I can't think of another year group that I've enjoyed working with more. And I've been here, as you know, for ages and ages. So I just want, when you graduate, I just want you to go for it and just do the thing that you love and not worry about anything else. And be beautiful.
Brilliant. I would like to add my personal best wishes for the future. You are now all automatically members of the BU Alumni Association, so please do make the most of their ongoing services, and please do keep in touch. We want to hear about your amazing journeys. I hope you've enjoyed this ceremony, and I'd like to thank all of those who have been part in making it such a success, particularly our Chancellor, Lord Phillips, for presiding today, our dignitaries and distinguished guests, and members of the University Board for their continued support and commitment. Now, please join me and my colleagues in the Purbeck Hall to continue the celebrations. Thank you.
Congregation, please stand for the national anthem and the retiring processions.